Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 29th of December 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Crystal Visions Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say about Wednesday and what the day is going to look like. I'm going to pick 3 cards here to see what the tarot has to share. And let's have a look at what that is. First card is the 3 of Wands. Then we have the Empress. Wow. And finally, the Moon. Interesting. So these 2 cards are very much about new beginnings and pursuing your life path and trying to manifest a future that you absolutely desire. The Moon is very much about being on a path as well, but being able to face your fears and listening to your intuition and having the faith to continue on even if things seem difficult, and not to let yourself become discouraged or disenchanted. So first of all, the 3 of Wands, you can see this figure holding this glowing orb here in the palm of her hands. She's got a path laid out in front of her. And what she's doing is she's taking a moment to kind of illuminate the situation. So she's trying to get as much information, knowledge, and guidance as she possibly can, because she is very invested in what she's doing with her life. She doesn't want to make any mistakes, and she's interested in what comes next. So this orb, as such, lights the path and makes it easier to kind of move on. But also, I get the sense there's some sort of channeling going on here. She's kind of asking for guidance and support, and you could say the light is exiting this orb, but you could also say that the light comes in from something bigger. So this card and this deck particularly are saying that if you make plans for the future today, you can see all these little doorways being created with the wands down here. If you're looking ahead, then that is something that's supported by the universe. You may get some amazing ideas which will light the path. So you may get some clues which help you to understand what direction you're supposed to be going in. And it's a combination of deciding this is what I want, this is what I can do in a practical sense. And because things aren't guaranteed, and because I can't see 5 years ahead, I would like my higher self to chip in a little bit and to give me guidance as to how I can manifest this future most effectively. Usually the 3 of Wands is someone looking out to sea and the ships are going by, and it indicates travel and broadening your horizons and going from leaving one place and replacing it with another. And here we've got this path winding around. So it's really contemplating the journey as such and saying, where is it that I'm going to go? Am I ready for this? Absolutely, because she's trying to suss out the best way. These other 2 orbs, they aren't lit up. We've got a candle here, we've got a lion next to her and a little kind of mini dragon kind of thing. So there are other options here. So she can take up each orb and see which one feels right. So the important thing is also to say, is this kind of aligned with what I want to be doing? Does this sit right with me? Do I feel good about it? If the answer is yes, continue. And also try and pick and choose if you do have options. The lion means that you have the strength to complete this. So if you have the strength, then it really would work in your favor if you have a couple of opportunities ahead of you to pick the one thing that is most exciting. Don't try and multitask too much. Keep it simple and walk one path. Don't try and walk 2 or 3 at the same time. Then again, the candle is about illumination, and the dragon I would say is power. And that's interesting because it's aligned with wands, fire, because it says, I want to pursue my passion in life, and I want to do that in a way that puts me in a good situation. I don't want to constantly be worried about my security. I want to be able to explore the world and to learn. So how can I take care of the basics so that I do have freedom and choice in my life? And this dragon gives you the wisdom to pursue things which are practical and which are likely to pay off. So it's unlikely that certain ideas that come to mind are just to be dismissed because they're impractical. Instead, I think that you're going to be very, very decisive and very grounded. And the ideas that come to mind are meant to be pursued because they're likely to work out. You're thinking in such an objective, realistic way that if something seems great and seems to have potential, then it likely will have that potential in earnest. The Empress is the third card in the Major Arcana, so we've got 3 and 3. 3 in numerology is communication and new beginnings. So I've spoken about that a lot in this card, but the Empress, you can see she's pregnant there, and she brings new life into the world. Everything that she does is transformative. It adds value, and whatever she touches becomes rich and abundant and prosperous because she's loving, she's beautifying. She's really this force of divine love that comes down and says, I am going to give of myself, and I'm going to influence my environment and the people I come into contact with in a positive way. And that creates a certain dynamic and frequency, and it draws good things to her. So the Empress is kind of someone who represents all good and who brings things into the world that are even better and more beautiful. So whether she's having a child, or she's being creative, she's painting, or she's writing a book, or she plants an apple tree, everything that she works on is something that's going to be enriching. So that is amazing, following the 3 of Wands, because this is saying, what is this new thing that I want to bring into the world, and how can I find it, or pursue it, or create it? And the Empress is kind of saying that if you listen to this inner voice, it's guaranteed to transform your circumstances for the better, and it will feel almost like a rebirth. Finally, the Moon. So the Moon is your intuition. It's your gut feelings. Trust those. They're not going to lead you in the wrong direction. The Moon, usually in the tarot, has to do with a path that seems daunting and uncertain, and it can become so frightening that it puts you off, and it kind of encourages you to turn around and to say, no, actually, this is too scary. Let me pursue it another time when I'm feeling better. Here it's different because we have this beautiful woman in a doorway and these 2 wolves next to her howling, but she's practically petting one of them. So these aren't scary. They're almost like bodyguards instead of obstacles. So the Moon here is kind of personified by this beautiful woman who's standing in this doorway. And if you kind of make friends with her, so if you, rather than to feel alone on the path with all these shady things looming above you and you have to do it all by yourself, the Moon in this deck is very different. It's almost like a divine female energy, again, that you can reach out to and say, I'm trying to move through a doorway here. I'm trying to walk a new path in my life, and I'm super inspired to do this. Please help me overcome my fears. Open the doorway. Lend me your little wolf bodyguard so that I can go through this and I can walk into my uncertain new future that I want. But it would be really nice if I did that in conjunction with my higher self, with my guides, my angels, the Moon, all the things that support me here on planet Earth. So that is, I think this has such a nice feel to it. The certainty of your life purpose and saying everything that I touch is going to transform for the better. So I need to take risks. And then, of course, every time we take a risk in life, that can be scary. But having the Moon here and the way she appears in this deck is just so comforting, because it says, even if you do get scared or if you have moments of panic or doubt on this day, all you need to do is close your eyes or connect internally, and you'll get this really positive, warm, safe feeling that you're not walking on your own, that you're supported, and that what you're doing is right. So you have access to this emotional comfort at all times. All you need to do is reach out for it and imagine it. So number-wise, we've got 18, and 3 is 21, and another 3 is 24, 2 and 4 is 6, and 6 is a temporary opportunity in numerology. So what you've got on this day that you don't have other days is the clarity and the inner support that truly allows you to make a fresh start that at other times may seem too scary or too daunting to even contemplate. But today it's easy because you have absolutely everything you need. It's also interesting that we have 3 female figures here, because the female figures in the tarot, they're the ones who are able to take something that already exists and to perfect it. So to perfect your feeling of, yes, I am on track, I'm going to do this despite my doubts. Yes, I am excited about the future, and yes, I can do it. All of those things encourage you to move on in your own unique way and to make up your own rules and to create your life the way you think it ought to look. And it truly puts you at the center of the day, because you're in control and you're the one who's able to add all this value. So I hope you use that opportunity, and I hope you have a fabulous day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing Wednesday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.